born was Ruth Dorothy. I was left at Delkusha Orphanage in Fiji, and my parents, who are my parents, I know people get really confused with transracially adopted kids and adopted kids. They ask you, which parents? You mean your real parents? So my parents, who took the time to raise me and give me what I needed in life, were teaching missionaries with the Ecumenical Institute. My mom is black, my dad is white, and they were in American Samoa at the time teaching English. My mom was teaching English, my dad was teaching science, and my dad had traveled around the world. He met a man named Jonathan Latham in Malaysia who had asked him if he'd ever thought about adopting a child who was not from the United States. It kind of got deep into his soul, into something that he thought was important to him. And so we asked my mom. Then they were trying to travel back to Malaysia to go back and meet Jonathan Latham so that he could help set him up with a child to adopt in Malaysia. But they ran out of money in Fiji. Dude, that meant they had no money because Samoa to Fiji is a really short trip. So they must have been totally dirt poor at the time. And so my white dad walks into Delkusha, and they said, oh, you're going to want the lightest child in here. My dad's like, yeah, I haven't seen my wife, but sure. So they pointed him to me, and I think it was just my daring, dashing, beautiful smile that got the man totally wrapped around his finger. And so he brought my mom, and it was really funny because when she was in American Samoa and Fiji, they'd always be like, hey, do you know Muhammad Ali? And my mom would be like, nope, don't know him. I heard he's a good guy, but I don't know anything about him. So they brought me back to, so the funny thing was that I really hadn't worn shoes at that point in time. I mean, it's a freaking tropical island, right? You don't really need shoes at all. So they brought me back to the United States, to the world's smallest town on the face of the planet with 1 million gajillion white people. And they had said, hey, we're going to hang out here and you're going to have your second birthday with your grandfather, right? I put on some shoes on my feet. I'd never had that experience before. They said I jumped up and down on the ground because they were like, oh yeah, what is this amazing stuff, right? I was so excited.
I still like to wear shoes.
Right, yeah, I just, there was really no need. 2. So I had my second birthday here in the United States, and like I said, the world's smallest town. My dad tells the story of being able to bike from the top of the hill without using his pedals, go down the hill, and he was through town. It was over. It was awful. I'll tell you some more stories on that one. But anyway, so I got there, and my grandpa, who's a Pennsylvania Dutch man, he spoke both Pennsylvania Dutch and English, but oftentimes Pennsylvania Dutch, sat there and he had his pipe. You know, he was sitting on the porch. Dude, me and Grandpa looked at each other. We said nothing. I sat on the man's lap. He said nothing to me. We hung out. He pretended to give me his pipe. I wouldn't know what it was, but I did what he did on the pipe, right? And then he gave me a Zippo lighter to blow out. How mean is that? You can't blow out a Zippo. The thing is totally an automatic lighter. We were best friends at that point. So, my brothers were born. They were both biologicals. My parents didn't adopt because they couldn't have children biologically. Again, they adopted because Jonathan Latham put it in my dad's head. So I have 2 brothers who are black and white, but present as black men, and a black mother. And I remember hating being Indian with a passion. Indian folks don't always like black folks. Let's be really honest about that, right? We're not seen at the top, right? And the woman who picked me up when I was sad and made sure that I was okay, educated me, got her master's while she had 3 children, right, and made it through. I was the only 4th grader, by the way, that did a report on Erik Erikson and Piaget, because my mom was in the education library. Every other kid's like doing a report on, like, I don't know, like some dude, like, I knew they were doing a report, and I was like, well, Erik Erikson had the stages of education. So, because that's what I do at the time. And so this woman, this black woman, was not really all that loved by East Indians, and I did not grow up with an incredible love for being East Indian at all. Because when you looked at the woman who did take the time to raise me, there wasn't a lot of love that came from the community. It was my biological community. But from the community that was the community that gave me my culture and the race, and then my mom would be like, I totally would do this. And my mom's like, people would be like, what race are you? I'm like, black? And my mom's like, well, technically, you're not. And I'm like, yes, I am! I'm black! Actually, these are my kids over here, and I remember Anna, see the blonde kid over there? It was so funny because I looked at one of her thing she wrote for a standardized test, she totally put she was black. It was awesome. I was like, well, okay, again, technically you might culturally be black, but the world's not going to see you that way, right? So anyway, I remember being really angry. I remember my mom trying to give me, so the reason I said my name was originally Ruth Dorothy is my parents never wanted me to forget that I was East Indian from the Fijian Islands. So they changed my name to Indira Audrey Bahner, right? So I wouldn't forget. And we carry the tradition with our children because I can't teach them anything about being East Indian. I have no clue. I mean, I can eat some East Indian food like no one can, right? I'm good at that. And I can put an outfit on, and so can my children, but I really can't share with them the culture. And I will tell you that it was a major block with East Indians being willing to share with me their culture when they saw that I had a black mother. It just was not, and then all of a sudden the world kind of shut down, and I think that's something we really need to talk about with people of color, is although white folks have decided to put us into a category of people of color, we're not the same, and we don't even like each other sometimes. We have ranked ourselves, and we have put black folks at the bottom, and we don't like to be honest about that fact, right? So I would have to say that I definitely still feel strongly and deeply connected to the black community. I know about being German, kind of. I had a lot of conversation about that. Definitely my mom wore the outfit in the family. So we know a little bit about being German, but I do want to tell you that one of the hugest fears I have is that my brothers are seen as black men in the United States of America, and although I get East Indian privilege here, especially in the state of Washington, in the city of Seattle, and the Renton and East area, and everyone assumes that I just work at Microsoft, which, God, I don't work at Microsoft. Microsoft would fire me. But that's the assumption, right? The cop pulls me over, and they're like, oh, look at you. Just try next time nicer. The cop pulls my brother over, and there's a gun that could possibly be pulled on him. So I want to be really clear about my experience and where I sit. There's no one community, especially if you know multiracial children or transracially adopted children, there is no one community that sits and says you belong to us. We only oftentimes belong to our own communities of being multiracial, but where our identities lie may not be as clear as where we think their identities lie. So I sit deeply with the black community. I hold a love for the black community. That doesn't mean that I have the black experience at all. So it's a really complicated space. My brothers have the black experience. My mom has the black experience. My dad has white privilege. My mom and brothers and I get away with stuff because we let my white dad do some of the talking. I let my white husband do some of that talking too, but we're in Eastern Washington. I'm like, Greg, go into that store, would you? I don't want to go to that store. So I want to bring the light into what not only Renton, but Seattle oftentimes has. We are a very multicultural space with a lot of kids who are wrestling, and a lot of adults who are wrestling, and a lot of marriages that are wrestling with what it means to be interracial, what it means to be multiracial, what it means to have an identity, what it means to not have an identity, but fully identify with another culture. And I think that that's incredibly important when we sit and talk about multiculturalism, because talking about multiculturalism is phenomenal. It's fantastic, it's nice, and it's at the bottom of the surface when you really think about it. And when we want to get into some of those spaces, we want to really openly be able to talk about these stories and experiences. These stories are not just about telling your individual story, but working as a community to enlighten one another and figure out how we can have these conversations. And I think that's where I